Hey, second grade. I wanted to go over your project for this week with you. This one is really open-ended. You have an endless amount of options that you can do. I'm going to show you just a few ideas, but really you could do just about anything. What you need to make or try to make or come up with is a way to show actual texture. So we've been showing texture by making pictures that are flat, that don't actually feel bumpy or rough or fluffy. We've been trying to make things look like they have texture. This time you're going to make something with real texture and then just take a picture of it. Now this might seem a little confusing, and there's so many options. So I want to show you a few, and maybe that'll give you some ideas to come up with your own too. Okay, so for this one you could do a weaving. If you have, yarn or string, you could even weave with paper. But I want to show you some other options other than what was on this printout for you. Or, so here we go. So I came up with 4 different options that I can show you that are pretty simple. For the first one, you could actually take paper, other paper, and glue it down. So maybe you would draw an animal or a scene, or some shapes on your page, and then you would just put some glue down in the spot that you wanted to glue something. And you don't need a lot. You can spread it pretty thin for that. And then you could take paper and you could just either layer it like this, where it is sticking up off the page, so it has this actual texture of layers of paper on it. Okay, I'm going to show you another way too. So I just pre-ripped some little pages, and I'm just going to keep layering that on. You could have a fun texture that way, or you could take a pencil and wrap the end with the paper and stick it on so it sticks up even more right up at you off the page. Okay. You can make lots of fun pictures by doing that. Alright, so that's one option, is using paper in different ways. Crumpling up the paper and then gluing things on it too. Alright, here you could use seeds or beads or any little tiny things that you could find, little tiny pebbles and stuff, and you could, make a picture and then fill it in. This one you might want to have your glue be a little bit thicker on the page. Now, I'm obviously not making a picture, I'm just kind of showing you the technique. Now, I had some bird seed here, and I'm just going to sprinkle the bird seed in there and let it dry, and when it dries, I have that actual bumpy, rough texture. I could make a picture of a bird and fill it in with bird seed. So that's another option. Here's one where you don't have to use your art materials. Maybe you build a sculpture. You could use recycled things like, paper towel tubes or newspaper and that kind of stuff, and build a texture. You could even use your toys. If you have Legos at home, here, this has a real texture, and I'm just going to make a more abstract scene by adding onto here and building up my texture, okay? So this is a real texture. There's parts that are smooth, there's parts that are bumpy. So basically, you're just playing with texture, okay? So here is another option, is building some kind of a sculpture with Lego. The last option I'm going to use is where you could make that salt dough if you wanted to at home. I know there's different recipes out there that mom and dad could help out with, where you can actually cook it and then it turns hard, kind of like the clay that we do at school. But you could also take Play-Doh, and I'm just going to take a blob of Play-Doh here and kind of smoosh it out a little bit, and then I can add textures on top of it. Okay, so this is where it's showing where we have real texture. Okay, and then just take a picture of that to show me that you created real texture. You don't even have to do a whole project for this one. You could just experiment with making different textures if you want. This one, I just want you to have fun with it. Be creative. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Have a great day. Bye.